You guys liked the first Sonic confession video so much that me and Salty decided to do another one. Also, sorry for disappearing for a minute. I moved to a completely different country and it took me a while to get things going again. But during that time, I have been streaming over on my Twitch channel getting ready for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which I will be streaming once it comes out. So stop on by if you want to join me and my community in some races. We also hit 25,000 subscribers here, so thank you guys so much for your support and for your patience. If you're new here and you like what you see, consider leaving a like, a sub, and maybe even a comment of your favorite or least favorite confession in the video. Anyways, that's enough from me. Thanks. Hello, chat. Do you like my very awesome, very legit costume? That is totally not a thing. Amen. Can I just show you, chat, really quickly before we get started, before we bring Salty on, what this looks like, okay? I'm wearing pants. Oh, the Spirit of Rouge the Bat is with us. Can you guys see how these are my pants? Okay, now I'm gonna do a little turn. Listen, it was literally one of the only things that would come in on time, and I had to figure out which one was the most appropriate for Twitch.tv, and this was it.
The Spirit of Rouge the Bat was with us because I looked at the stream. I saw it. I did see it.
Do you still see her?
No.
But you can see her when I back up, chat.
Hello, it's me. Also, I'm a priest now.
We have really committed to this role. Chat, do you like my rosary? It's Sonic the Hedgehog. Welcome back to your Sunday Sonic confessional. You already know what's up. We're going to be reviewing your very cringe Sonic confession.
There's nothing cringe about these. This is raw, honest people who are being honest with us. There's nothing cringe about that at all.
You're right. I apologize.
Thank you. Take this seriously. We just joined the convent. I don't know, what are church things called? The Alliance.
Let's get into it, shall we? Just like last time, chat, I want to share this message with you. Sonic was once lost, but now he is found in Jesus Christ. Amen, chat.
Also, chat, I should have said earlier, because I saw somebody said, oh, Salty sounds sick. I wonder why. It's because I'm sick. I have the flu from MagFest. First off, MagFest, awesome. Second off, fuck MagFest, because I got sick after it. It made me sad. You might hear me cough. You may hear me sniffle. You may hear me sound like I'm a fucking tin can of a human being. But you know what? We're here for God and Sonic. So maybe focus the fuck up, chat. Not everything's about me. It's about the faith.
Confession 1. The first time I learned about Malcolm X was from Sonic Rush.
That's it. I literally learned about Malcolm X like after I played Sonic Rush. I was just like, wow, this sample is like this vocals is really cool. Somebody was like, it's from this guy like Malcolm X, and I'm like, that sounds cool. Imagine being a historical figure that's like so important to the history of our nation, and you're also in a Sonic game.
I will say, that song is probably one of my favorites from that game.
Confession number 2. When I was a kid and had just discovered Sonic, most of the content I consumed were Newgrounds parodies with adult jokes. One of them had a joke about Sonic losing his virginity to Amy, which resulted in me repeating the phrase all over my house and my father giving me the talk.
No!
I also thought that the joke about people wanting to see Sonic's feet was a real mystery in the fandom. Like how there are people who wonder what Mickey's hands look like without his gloves. So I searched Sonic's feet without shoes on Google because I thought it was a mystery that needed to be solved. You can imagine how that turned out.
Well,
cool.
I don't know what to say about this one. I
really don't. Did this person watch like a fucking Sonic shorts? That's the first thing I thought of.
That's also what I was thinking, because like there's a lot of that in Sonic shorts. Can we talk about that really quickly?
Oh, especially like the first batch of Sonic shorts.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just like, what if Sonic characters fucked?
The one that really fucks me up. Do you remember the one where like Sonic and Amy are about to like, it's implied that they're about
to get it down.
And then Vector the crocodile shows up.
To get through tight spaces, press the circle button to slide.
Can I just tell you, that made me so uncomfortable as a kid. That just lives in my head rent free. It terrifies me. I think seeing that particular art style. Outside of that, I don't really have much to say about this one. I think it is very funny, though, that their father had to give them the talk.
If I had to get the talk based off of a Sonic animation video I watched on YouTube, I don't think I would have been the same either.
When I was a child, I once tried to spin dash in front of my mom. I went to the top of the slide and shouted to get my mother's attention. I remember saying, "Hey mommy, look, I can go fast!" Then rolled down the slide and crashed into another child at the bottom of the slide. I broke their arm and sprained my wrist.
Dude, this is the funniest shit ever. You broke their arm?
How do you break another child's arm that way?
I was gonna say, like, children are notoriously fucking resilient.
They're malleable.
Yeah, they're fucking malleable. Their bones are made of fucking marshmallows and they reform. Like, how fast were you going? I think it's hilarious that you broke their arm, but you sprained your wrist.
I was about to say.
You got out of this pretty good. You fucked that person up for, like, no reason.
Can you imagine being that other kid? All you hear is, "Look, mommy, I can go fast." And then you hear this kid, like, make the spin dash noise. And then all of a sudden, next you know it, your arm's broken.
Confession number 4. The first OC I ever made was a fusion of Blaze the Cat and Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's. I say fusion because she didn't really look like them. She just kind of looked like a bunny cat thing, and I just said to myself that that's what she was. She was not a Sonic or FNAF OC, by the way. She was an Undertale OC that was friends with the skeletons because that was the most logical thing.
Okay.
Okay, fucking sure, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think that the OC is a Sonic and FNAF OC because that is literally what you said that it was. If it's a fusion of Blaze the Cat and Springtrap, then by default, it is a Sonic and Five Nights at Freddy's OC and an Undertale OC because you fucking randomly were like, you know what? Let's put them in Undertale. Let's do it. And they're best friends with the skeletons.
As an additional bonus, it's a feature.
Yeah, it's a feature.
When I was a kid, I would sometimes imagine that Sonic and I were together romantically. Oh, but I'd specifically imagine that he would turn into his Werehog form and I would turn into mine, which was just the green woman from the Deadly Six in Sonic Lost World. We would cause chaos in our epic evil forms as a badass power couple. I grew up with Nintendo stuff, so I don't know why I imagined all of this.
Because you were horny. Oh, I don't know why I imagined all that. Because you were fucking horny, dude. Be fucking for real. Derek, that's a child. Dude, I was a child once too. I had crushes on fucking cartoon characters and shit. What are you talking about? You're right, chat. Children have never had crushes on any fictional characters ever. Sorry, I'm having like a power trip the moment I got this priest uniform on.
When I was a kid, I had a Sonic shrine that I hid from my family in my room under a stereo cabinet. Think the shrine from Hey Arnold that Helga made of Arnold, but it's Sonic. One day, when I came back from middle school, I found out my mom found my shrine and threw it all out. She didn't say anything to me, and I want to keep it that way for the rest of my life.
This is giving the piss drawer story. Like, mom found the piss drawer, mom found the Sonic shrine. Was it identical to Helga's shrine? Because that definitely sets off some red flags if I'm a parent. That sort of shrine gives off like religious worship kind of vibes. I think the thing that fucks me up is that like this person's mom didn't even say anything about it.
Yeah, nothing was said, just thrown away.
I hate that. Not even talking to your fucking child. Like, come on, confront, deal with the problem.
Wait, Peachy, are you saying this was yours? This happened to you?
Yes.
Was it really like the Hey Arnold Helga shrine? Like candles?
Yes.
No.
Candles? My God.
I had cutouts and drawings and hearts, and I would kiss him and pray.
Huh.
Kiss him?
Okay, so there might have been a reason why the shrine was removed. What are we praying for?
I wanted Sonic to be real and to be my BF.
Okay, well, based.
God was God, but I wanted God to make him real.
I think some people would like cry false prophet sort of things, but you know, I think it's pretty based. No Hail Marys for you. Just keep hanging out. When I was about 10 to 11, I was, and still am, a huge Sonic fan. And my best friend introduced me to Heroes, which I had never played before. I knew about Shadow, but this was the first time I had ever seen characters like Rouge, the Bat, and the Chaotix. I told my friend this was the coolest shit ever, and then he started getting me into Sonic X. I owned a few of the episodes on VHS/DVD, and one day, while watching, I saw a particular scene with Rouge in a bath. That was the first time I felt something funny, and sometimes, gulp, I would rewind the scene. I eventually asked my parents what those feelings were, and this led them to finally having the birds and bees talk with me. It was all Rouge the Bat's fault. I don't know if I want to talk about this one.
I don't remember the scene.
Oh, trust me, I do.
Rouge the Bat in... I feel like this is terrifying.
You want to be real careful with that search there.
Oh, I do remember this. Because doesn't like Bokun come up and like is talking to her and she has like a Chaos Emerald. She also has gloves in the bath from this image. What the hell?
Yeah, they really did not want them taking them gloves off. But her boobs could be fully out, sure, why not?
I feel like this is fairly normal, actually. However, I will say this is at least 25 Hail Marys.
This sort of confession to me is like similar to somebody going into confession and being like, Father, I have sinned. I have breathed oxygen. Nobody has ever done this before. And meanwhile, it's like, bro, it's Rouge the Bat. We've all done this before.
I will say, lust is a 7 deadly sin.
Is it lust or is it love at first sight? Who are we to judge?
When I was like 12 to 13 on DeviantArt, I saw a comic pairing Sonic and Rouge the Bat.
We're back in the fucking building again!
It was towing the line of being PG-13. I wasn't bothered by that. No. I was bothered by the fact that Sonic was with a woman. I don't know why that's what stuck with me. Oh, that's it!
I think I know why it stuck with you, confession person. I think you might have wanted Sonic to be with you.
Have you considered that maybe, just maybe, you might be gay?
I'm dying at that one chat member being like, what the fuck? Sonic would not be with a woman.
This is like me. Okay, I didn't know that being bisexual was a thing. Are you familiar with a game called My Sims Kingdom?
Yes.
Okay, so My Sims Kingdom has this one character. I'll show you really quickly what she looks like. For reference, when you go visit the island that she is on, she has a crush on the prince of this kingdom. His name is Daniel. I fucking hate Daniel. I didn't know why. I vehemently hated Daniel. Whenever I finished the tasks of this island, I would go back to the island and I would put objects in front of the castle door so Daniel could not go meet Violet for their picnic date. And I would trap Violet in her home so she couldn't meet Daniel and only hang out with my character. And I feel like that's a little bit like what's going on with our poster. Turns out I was bisexual.
No, I can see it.
Who would have guessed, chat?
When I was 11, I once drew Saw and Amy's art of Amy nursing her baby with Sonic by her side. I put it in the seat pocket in front of me and forgot to take it out. Months later, my mom found it and asked me what it was. I then shredded it later that day. I wish that this ended with them being like, I have no idea why I did that. You okay over there? I do have to ask, what drives an 11-year-old to be like, I'm gonna do some Sonic fan art of Amy Rose breastfeeding her child? What has this child been exposed to at this point in their life? To have that thought, not only have the thought, but then execute it on a bumpy car ride. It's hard to draw on a car ride. It's not easy, especially for an 11-year-old. They committed to that shit. They fought against the fucking grain. The universe was saying to not do it, and yet they fucking persisted. They finished it, and they had the fucking balls to store it, and then never look at it ever again. Months went by. How do you forget that you've drawn something like this?
So Salty,
Yes?
what if I said that's my confession?
No fucking way. I would like to put out a retraction on some stuff I may have said You know, this entire time, I thought you were laughing a little bit too hard. Izzy,
Yeah,
why did you do that?
I don't know.
I don't know why I was compelled to do so. It's as if some sort of magical influence from a higher power came down and fucking divinely intervened in my brain.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. There's gotta be something.
Why? What compelled me to draw that? I'm not really sure. However, as I had mentioned, I was raised in a very conservative Christian environment. So I thought that growing up to be a mother was a very noble and cool thing to do. I thought it was the only thing I had going for me. So of course I made my idol, Amy Rose, do the exact same thing.
It seems to me like you actually do know why you drew it.
I mean, as I thought about it more, I was like, okay, that's probably the reason.
That's the point of these confessions. We need to reach deep inside. We need to reread. We need to analyze. There's a lot to be gained from this. Like I said earlier, I'm just fucking impressed that you fought against, like, the car to draw it.
I had nothing else going on in my life. Have you ever seen the animation Sonic Epilogue?
I have not. Please enlighten me.
When I was a kid and had unrestricted access to the internet, I found that video and was absolutely devastated because I thought Sonic was canonically dead. Now, keep in mind I was in elementary school and very gullible. I was so distraught that I decided to look up on YouTube Sonic the Hedgehog dead for answers. And what I got was an 8-bit animation of Eggman happily boasting about killing Sonic. My mom later found me crying my little heart out, full on sobbing, and telling her Sonic was dead. She had to explain to me that 1, he isn't real, and 2, that he was alive. This is my first experience with feeling grief, and I think that is so funny.
Well, holy shit. I'm obsessed with that last detail. She had to explain it to this person that 1, he's not real. 2, he's alive. Those don't match up.
As a kid, I got so mad at Sonic Game, I took the cartridge into my backyard and pissed on it.
This sounds like Sammy Classic Sonic fan.
When I wanted to play a few hours later, it wouldn't turn on. So I lied to my mom and said I spilled water on it. Lucky for me, she didn't question it and got me a new copy.
Can we get more piss-related confessions? I think we're kind of on a roll with these.
What is it with these ones where it's like, I got so mad I pissed on my game? What possesses one to get so mad to piss on their gaming console or video game?
I feel like this is a very much don't knock it till you try it sort of scenario, because this might be a really good way of like consolidating your anger. Because if you see the way that they're talking about this, they're very clearly saying that they didn't yell, they didn't punch anything, they didn't punch a hole through a wall. They calmly took the cartridge out, went outside, and just pissed. If anything, I would say that that's very mature. Like, you would be shocked how many people immediately resort to violence, tantrums. This person is not only going outside, taking a moment, breathing, they're also relieving themselves in a healthy way. And you know what? They're probably like releasing some adrenaline in their urine as well. This is a lot more mature than people would think. And I feel like we're making some very harsh judgments in the chat on this person and on general pissers, I feel. This is exactly why 2025 has been the fucking worst so far. We need to take ourselves out of our shoes and empathize with others. Listen, we need to be 3,000% more woke going forward. Amen.
Amen. When I was in middle school, the only other Sonic fan in my class was my homeroom teacher. We talked about it pretty often, and her favorite character was Tails. I liked drawing pictures of him for her. And on one of my last days in her class, while we were drawing together, she asked me to draw him as miserable as possible. I don't know why, but I was glad to deliver. And in the end, I drew him walking around covered in band-aids and hooked up to an IV stand crying because it was the most miserable situation I could think of. My teacher really loved it and pinned it on the class bulletin board. It was not very popular amongst my peers.
What the fuck? This teacher needs to be put under investigation. What the fuck? Why did your teacher fucking ask you to draw that? And then pin it up on the fucking board?
I don't like that.
Hey, champ, could you draw me a picture of Tails fucking miserable?
Put it on the fridge while we're at it.
That's pretty wild, too, that got put up on the fucking bulletin board. Yeah, no, this teacher's giving me really bad vibes. The idea that this teacher's favorite character is Tails, and they were like, can you please draw Tails fucking miserable? That, to me, gives off the most, like, ick energy possible. Like, what are we doing?
It is the biggest, like, red flag I think I've ever seen.
You don't have to do anything. Your teacher, jail.
A billion Hail Marys. Enough to last their entire sentence. I was into MLP and Sonic at the same time, and I was around 7. So I shipped Rainbow Dash X Sonic heavily for some reason. Maybe it was because they were blue and fast? I don't know. I even made a Sonicified design for Rainbow Dash just for it to not look goofy as fuck. That design eventually became my self-insert because one day I stumbled upon that one feel like a monster AMV of Sonic as a Werehog. I thought that was the sexiest shit ever, and Rainbow Dash didn't deserve Sonic anymore. I made them break up and took Rainbow Dash's spot because of a single AMV.
No, that's real. Shit, I would have made them break up too. What is up with people having their like furry awakenings with the Werehog?
That's very true. I don't know.
It's the second one. I imagine it's happened more than just these 2 times. Like, there's no way.
I think it's because Sonic went from twink to not, and maybe that they like that.
Twink to hunk. I'm sure there's plenty of people that like that he has really big hands.
Sonic himself just has big hands.
But the Werehogs are bigger.
Chat, do not say yaoi hands.
I took my girlfriend and 2 of my friends to go see Sonic 3. I was really excited to go see it, so we went the day it released. When we get there, they turn to me and go, hey, we've never seen a Sonic movie before. I don't know why, but I just kind of assumed that they would have. We all grew up on the internet, so I assumed at least the first one was just required watching to get this far in life. I tell them, it'll be fine. There's small parts you won't get, but it's a pretty cheesy, fun time, so you'll all be fine. They were like, oh, that's awesome. We love cheesy movies. We get into the theater, and as soon as Sonic says, Konichi, what? They leave the theater to go watch the live-action prequel of The Lion King. Oh my god.
There's no fucking way.
I refuse. Genuinely, I refuse to believe that this story is true. Because one, they say they love cheesy movies. If that was enough for them to fucking like leave the theater and go see the Lion King prequel movie? Come on.
Sonic is the pinnacle of cheesy movies. There's no way someone in chat said break up with your girl.
No, dude, genuinely, if I took a partner to go see a movie like Sonic 3 that I really cared about and then decided like quarter of the way through the movie to get up and leave, I'd be like, okay, that's not nice. What the fuck? This is the first film ever with Shadow the Hedgehog in it. And you're leaving? Also, seeing the fucking prequel Lion King movie over Sonic 3 is just stupid. That's the most unbelievable thing about this. Dump them!
Instead of Hail Marys, they are required to watch all 3 Sonic movies.
You gotta do Clockwork Orange on them and like duct tape their eyelids open so that they're forced to watch it.
They should relive the experience I had when a friend forced me to watch Star Wars, which is they tied me up with a piece of rope and sat on me and hand-fed me popcorn. I refuse to believe they actually tie you down like a fucking torture victim. I don't know how do I make that shit up? Some of you have never hung out with homeschooled kids. That's just the reality of it.
When I was 11, I saw gameplay of Sonic Adventure 2 for the first time, and Rouge the Bat turned me gay. I drew pictures of her in class, and my teacher noticed. I guess he was offended by the big bat breasts, so he took the picture and tore it up in front of me. Fuck you, Mr. McKinley. I'm still gay, and I still draw Rouge the Bat all the time. Can I go off on this for a moment? I fucking hate when teachers do shit like this. I think I said this probably last confession stream. I don't remember, but I used to draw like mazes all the time on pieces of paper. My history teacher, who at the time I respected a lot, saw it, walked over, picked it up, and then ripped it in half in front of me, like in multiple pieces, and then walked back to the front of the room and kept teaching. And then because of that, I stopped drawing mazes for a while. It hurt my feelings so bad. But this person? Hell yeah. Keep being gay. Keep drawing Rouge the Bat. Give a link for my friend to follow.
Hi, I'm the friend. I have 2 older brothers and would often play with their save files when I was little. One night, while my brother was at a birthday party, I was playing the Chao garden in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Suddenly, my brother's prized Chao, Dash, went into a white cocoon. I had no idea what was happening. I watched, horrified, as the cocoon very slowly faded away into nothingness, leaving no egg behind, and started panicking and crying. I told my mom and implored her to call the host of the party to talk to my brother and tell him the bad news. She was like, no, you can tell him when he gets home. I waited anxious to confess my sin and beg for forgiveness. Finally, my brother got home and I broke down, apologizing profusely for killing his Chao. He blinked at me and asked, why didn't you just reset the game? And my third eye opened. I hadn't even thought of that. I told him as much and he just sighed. 20 years later, and Dash the Chao still haunts me. This is very like a sibling moment. It's very sweet that they were like, I ruined your Chao, I'm so sorry.
Aw. Yeah, no, you are right. It is a cute sibling moment.
Yeah, this is actually really wholesome.
When I was younger, I was obsessed with the Sonic Sat AM series. I used to rewatch it all the time. I also used to go to this sports club, and I remember I liked this boy there whose name was Antonio. Oh my god, please. I remember the only reason I had a crush on him was because his name reminded me of Antoine Decollette. Based! Antoine Decollette stands, rise up. Who out here straight Antoine maxing in chat?
You like Antoine?
I'm a big Antoine fan. Me and a couple of friends, we've been reading through the Archie comics, like as a group, and we've been assigning each other characters while we're reading. Guess who plays Antoine? It's me, Antoine Maxer, right now, right here.
What do you love about Antoine?
I like that he's kind of like the Krillin of Sonic. He shows up, his first appearance, for a little bit, he's a little shit. He builds himself up like he's super strong. He's not. He knows he's not. But then over time, he actually becomes an interesting character. And whenever he's in a fight, I actively cheer.
I'll be honest, it's been a while since I read the Archie comics. However, I'll just say I didn't like Antoine because he married Bunny Rabbit, and I thought she was way cooler without him.
No, you're wrong. Dude, Antoine has such fucking good riz, it's crazy. Dude pulled Bunny fucking Rabbit. That's crazy. And that's before he became like an actually cool character too. Salty share the Antoine voice. It's literally just this. This is how he talks.
When I was in elementary school, I watched a lot of Sonadow AMVs, like any kid would. I wanted to make one on YouTube, so I basically downloaded a bunch of Sonadow pics to my dad's computer to make it on Windows Movie Maker. One day, he told me he was going to use it or sell it. I can't remember. In a panic, I rushed over and deleted all the pictures because I didn't want my dad to see Sonic tongue-kissing Shadow while searching for a work document.
Damn, dude.
When I was younger, I used to be really into the Sonadow shipping. Why do I keep getting all this Sonadow ones? This is my fault for painting that painting once, huh? So much so, I watched a whole fan comic series on YouTube that involved multiple scenes and dirty talking. Sonic got pregnant and had a child with Shadow. I'm pretty sure the fetus resembled Chip from Sonic Unleashed. The series abruptly ended once Sonic got pregnant. There was also pregnancy.
Oh, thank God.
When the series ended, I kept looking for it on YouTube and found a lot more Sonadow fetish content.
Honestly, out of all of the characters in the Sonic series to like be a fetus, Chip definitely looks the closest to one. Chip is kind of fetus core. When I was a kid, during some days of my childhood, I pretended to act like Shadow the Hedgehog when I got mad because I thought he was awesome and people would stop bullying me if I acted more cool than them. I was acting like a mysterious, sad anime character, crossing my arms while looking serious, tapping my feet angrily, running like Naruto and then parkouring to high places to watch over the other kids, acting really tough all while I had my jacket over my shoulders like a cool anime guy. If you haven't realized by now, that's nothing that Shadow would do. So I stopped doing it very soon because I thought I was too mean and I didn't want to be mean to others.
Oh.
Now I'm a homosexual. Thanks, Shadow. Now, what does that last part have to do with fucking anything that you just said?
Literally nothing.
I'm like processing. plot twist of the century. Chat, be fucking for real. This is not a plot twist. This is an addendum. What is it twisting? What aspect of the plot is being twisted?
They just added that.
They were just like, by the way, I'm homosexual. Just in case you wanted to know. I think that more people should put their sexuality at the end of unrelated stories.
This guy was just like, I didn't want to be mean anymore, so I stopped doing it. Anyways, I'm gay.
I didn't want to be mean, so I became gay.
Thank you, Shadow.
When I was young and dumb, I got really bored and dipped my Shadow the Hedgehog plushie into melted wax. I kept him there for nearly 5 years, even though his quills was sticking through. His eyes were blood red and his shoes were pink. I threw him away a month or 2 ago. Autism is fun. I just kind of let that take me.
I'm so glad you did.
Also, autism for the win? Slay.
Slay. I just love that they let the voices win and just were like, yeah, dip him in some wax. They just stuck him in some melted wax and were like, yeah, that's good.
For 5 years. Wait. You threw him away a month or 2 ago? You took him out of the wax, so he was like, 2024? They had me in melted wax for 5 years?
I have this vague memory of me in elementary school kissing my Werehog plush and making the cartoony wah noises. A family friend walked in. The door was open the whole time, crying emoji, and asked, "Are you talking to yourself?" Mockingly, I got embarrassed and said, "No." She walked away, and that was that. I can't take the Werehog seriously anymore, because anytime I see him, I think of that, and those monster/animal I have become AMVs.
It's the same AMV that they're talking about in the other confession.
I've never seen this in my life.
The more I keep hearing about it, the more I'm like, I feel like I have seen this. I feel like I could find it in 2 seconds. Hold on. I kind of get it. I get what people are talking about. Okay, I think
that's all I need.
Yeah.
When I was like 6 or something, I always got weird feelings about Sonic Unleashed. I never got the chance to play it, but always seeing the cover art of Sonic becoming his huge, strong, fluffy beast always stuck on my mind because it was such a weird, sudden thing, and it was never something implied in any of the Sonic games before. The art itself looks super high quality compared to previous games I played on the GameCube, so somehow I ended up thinking it was a real photo or something, and believed I would become a Werehog at some point like Sonic had.
Dude, what?
I would end up spending many nights in bed trying to get the Werehog transformation to activate, never knowing what exactly to do because I knew nothing about the actual game. Of course it didn't work though because it was a Sonic video game gimmick and eventually I stopped. But I can say for sure that it led me down the path of being attracted to buff, furry men.
Why are there more confessions about the fucking Werehog than like Rouge the Bat, the character that they conventionally made attractive? This is not a confession if everyone knows she's hot. Well, you know what? It's true. Sometimes I fantasize about Surge coming home drunk and beating me until I feel numb. She kicks me in the ribs until I can hardly breathe. Then she starts to cry and apologizes, begging me to forgive her. She holds me all night as I gently cry into her t-shirt. This sounds so familiar to me.
This is a copy pasta.
I swear, I was gonna say this has to be a copy pasta. There's no fucking way.
I'll be honest, there's something poetic in Final One being a copy pasta. Oh, we have a bonus confession. I found out about piss kinks because I found an animated YouTube video called Sonic Pees on Amy. I remember watching it like it was just any other video. And my sister walked up behind me in pure horror.
That's it! Thanks for joining, everybody.
Thank you so much for watching the video. You may have noticed that some of the confessions were skipped. If you want to see the full thing, you could head over to my VODs channel, which will be linked below in the description. I'm also always live on my Twitch. I might even be live right now playing some Sonic Racing Crossworld. So if you want to go ahead and join me in my community for some races, go ahead and head over onto my Twitch, Isabel, same username. Anyways, that's enough for me again. Bye!